Zenaida baked a large stack of pancakes in the morning, which her household loved so much. A few years ago, she could not even think that she would ever be able to experience the joy of motherhood, and indeed that she would have such a strong and happy family. Gradually, one by one, her household began to appear in the kitchen, and the woman began to set the table. "Mommy, what delicious pancakes you have. Eat up, daughter." "Mom, why do everyone have one or two grandmothers, and I have three? And there are three grandfathers too, why not?" Zenaida tensed a little, not knowing what to say to her daughter, and only her husband was able to diffuse the situation. "Because we are the happiest, daughter. Come on, eat up faster, or you'll be late for kindergarten." When her husband and daughter left, Zenaida cleared the table, took her youngest son and went outside with him. The morning conversation was still in her head. And what happens if their baby finds out that she is adopted? Should I tell her the truth or keep it quiet? And most importantly, will she love them as well, or will she turn away from them? She took a little more walk with the child, and only when he began to cry, Zenaida got ready to go home. Several days have passed since that ill-fated conversation, and Zenaida still could not come to her senses. And although little Alice had already forgotten about it, her words, like a huge thorn, pierced her mother's heart. Zenaida got married when she was very young, as it is fashionable to say now, by getting knocked up. It was obvious that her husband was not ready for marriage, and even more so for fatherhood, but what could he do? Because Zenaida was the daughter of the district police officer himself. The wedding died down, family life began, but not like Zenaida imagined it. Vitali disappeared with friends all the time, always came late and left early. The young wife wanted to talk to her husband several times, but he just waved her off, saying that you still married you, as you wanted, as if it wasn't him, but Zenaida was afraid of her father, the district police officer. The stomach grew, and along with the stomach, the problems grew. Vitali lived as if he was not married at all. Constant spree, debauchery, women, she would have complained to her father, but Zenaida silently endured, and only from time to time cried into her pillow. The baby was born ahead of time, and due to the fact that the birth was difficult, the baby died a few hours later. God only knew how hard it was to lie in the maternity ward for a woman who had recently lost a child. While others were discharged and went home, taking with them the squeaking envelopes, Zenaida lay in the ward with her face turned to the wall. Her husband has not visited her once all the time, showing with all his appearance that everything is over between them, and if it were not for the young doctor, it is unknown how her life would have turned out. Yevgeny was a visitor, and he got to the district center by distribution. He felt humanly sorry for Zenaida, and even more so he could not understand how a husband could do this to his own wife. Deep down, he realized that Zenaida had become more than just a patient for him. He often came to her room, asked about her health, and when she was discharged, he called her from time to time to find out how she was doing. Zenaida, after leaving the hospital, went straight to her parents, and then filed for divorce, since there was no longer anything that had previously connected them with her husband. Eugene learned that Zenaida filed for divorce, began to show her signs of attention, then he would give her flowers, then he would invite her to the cinema, then he would call her for a walk. And then he proposed to her and took her away from the district center so that nothing would remind her of the past. This time, Zenaida was completely satisfied with her family life. Her husband loved her, her father-in-law and mother-in-law, too. One thing burdened her: the years passed, and she could not get pregnant. Eugene, to distract his wife a little from sad thoughts, persuaded her to go to school. And now the coveted diploma is in her hands, and Zenaida, as she was childless, remained so. Doctors threw up their hands. The body is young, healthy, wait, and what to expect and when exactly, no one could tell them. Zenaida was increasingly thinking about divorce. She felt sorry for her husband, because she understood that he was dreaming of children, and she. However, Eugene did not lose hope, and always calmed his beloved. Many envied their strong relationship, not realizing how hard it is sometimes for them to keep their fragile union. A few more months passed, the holiday season came, and Eugene decided to take Zenaida to a famous healer. And even though he was a doctor and an atheist, you can't do anything to achieve your goal. Returning on the way back, Eugene noticed that a man threw a box into the river, and at the sight of the car quickly ran away and disappeared into the woods. Eugene knew that many villagers drown kittens and puppies in this way, but when he pulled the box out of the water, he gasped. In a softened cardboard box, in wet diapers, there was a baby crying. Who it could be and why he threw the child into the river, Eugene did not think. First of all, he was worried about the condition of the child, and then everything else. Hastily wrapping the child in a dry jacket of Zenaida, Eugene rushed to the hospital. All the way he looked back to where his wife was sitting, clutching the baby to her chest. "Genio, can we keep the girl with us?" "Yes, but we need to know who her parents are. What happened is a crime, and the perpetrators must be punished." "Yes, but while the proceedings are going on, the girl can be adopted." "Okay, and what do you suggest?" "Let me call my father, and together we will decide what to do." Zenaida really called her father, and he, using his connections, helped with the adoption of the child. Negligent parents were also found. As it turned out, the girl's mother was a visiting citizen who came to study, and then fell in love and stayed here. But her love did not last long. Her husband often drank and raised his hand against her, and so that she would not run away, he burned her documents. When the woman became pregnant, her husband did not even allow her to go to the doctor, and she had to give birth at home, because before that he beat her and locked her in a room. Hearing the child's cry, the man entered the room and found that his wife was dead. The child's upbringing did not fit into his plans. He wrapped the girl in a diaper, put her in a box and threw her into the river. The criminal was convicted, and the parents of the deceased girl were informed about the incident. Alice has remained in foster care, but her grandparents very often communicate with her via video link. The year before last, they all went to visit them in Germany, and their Zenaida found out that she was expecting a child. Life is getting better, the children are growing up, but no, Zenaida will be sad as soon as she thinks that sooner or later Alice will be able to find out that she is adopted. What if her father gets free and finds her? What will happen to them, to their family, then? No wonder Zenaida was afraid. Already several times someone had planted anonymous letters in their mailbox, asking them to transfer a certain amount of money for silence, but Eugene did not tell his wife anything about it, so as not to upset her once again. As it turned out, it was the work of Alice's real father, and one of the prison staff helped him. Then there was a new trial. One was given a suspended sentence, and the second was added, but still the heart did not get easier. After conferring, the couple moved to another area, and started life from scratch. They couldn't let someone ruin their already fragile happiness. Alice is their daughter, and will always remain so, and they will do everything possible so that no one will ever tell the girl that she is adopted until they decide to tell her about it themselves.